Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. And in this video, I have the unlimited comparison between all three carriers. That's AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile. I did not include Sprint. In my opinion, Sprint is just not a competitive force anymore. And soon they could potentially merge with T-Mobile. So I just have the top three carriers on this unlimited comparison. So this unlimited comparison will be up to 10 lines. This is going to be with the new AT&T pricing in mind. So that's the starter, extra, and the elite. For Verizon, it's going to be the start, play more, do more, get more. So that's 4 plans. And then with T-Mobile, it's going to be the essential, magenta, and the magenta plus. Now, some of you may be on older plans that are grandfathered, which is okay. But as of now, in November of 2019, these are the most current plans for all of the top 3 nationwide carriers. So to get started with AT&T, they now recently had a new unlimited plan change with some price increase. But if you compare it to the other carriers, they could potentially now be the cheaper option for more lines with a bigger network. That's just how I see it. You may see it different. But if we look here at 4 lines on the more expensive elite plan, you'd be paying $200 for 4 lines. For the same 4 lines on Verizon on their most expensive plan, it would be $220. And that's $20 more. I know it's not a big difference, but you're still paying more with Verizon and you get less. With Verizon, it's only 720p. If you want the 1080p, you have to pay an extra $10. It's an add-on. You get 75 before you're deprioritized. On this plan with AT&T, you get 100 before you're deprioritized. So, and then also you get HBO Max for the content, which with Verizon, you get Disney Plus for 12 months. You do get permanent Apple Music, which I find is a very great value in my opinion. But the HBO Max is also going to be pretty good once it launches in May of 2020. So that's just in terms of the price comparison. And then AT&T is now in line with 4 lines, magenta plus $200. That's the same price you're going to pay for the elite plan with AT&T. And T-Mobile does offer some great value with that. You get 1080p with that plan, which is good. I think Verizon is kind of missing out on that one. It could be potentially, it's not going to be, of course, it's not going to be a PR nightmare for Verizon, but people could potentially choose the other plans because they're not offering the 1080p on that and they're making it an add-on fee. So with that, T-Mobile, you get 20 gigabytes of LTE hotspot on that plan, which both Verizon and AT&T are doing 30. Then with T-Mobile, you get 50 gigabytes before you deprioritized. You do get Netflix as a value content. So that's really good. I mean, we all know Netflix is now huge, lots of original content. So that's definitely a step in the right direction. So with AT&T, you do get unlimited in Mexico and Canada. You also get that with Verizon and T-Mobile, but with them you do get the speed cap of 2G on Verizon, and then you get 5 gigabytes of unlimited high-speed data, and then after that you're also throttled down to around the 2G speeds with T-Mobile. So the plans, like I said, they're all here. So where it becomes more cost saving with AT&T as we get into the more lines. I've talked to people that have 8, 9, 10 lines. And as you can see here, as we get to the more expensive plan, AT&T is up to $100 less for the same amount of lines on Verizon. So on Verizon's Get More plan, it's $500 for 10 lines. With AT&T, it's $400. So a lot of people have been telling me and emailing me that, hey, look, AT&T did get a bit more cheaper with these new plans. Also, they increased their single line cost. So But the single line, even on the Get More, is $5 more than what AT&T is charging on the Elite plan. So, and let's not forget the 5G access is included on the Extra and the Elite, which at some point will be a $10 add-on fee for Verizon once they stop waiving that fee. So that's another good point that AT&T threw in there, that they would include the access fee to 5G and they would not add a cost to the consumer. And that's what I say about the plans as themselves, is if you start doing the whole, hey, you want 1080p, that's a $10 extra fee. You want 5G, that's a $10 extra fee. At that point, Verizon is going to make the consumers start feeling like they're nickel and diming them, which most of them already feel that way. So AT&T kind of got, said, well, we're not going to do that. We're going to include it. We're going to include 4K. Now in the extra plan, it is 480p, and there doesn't seem a way to enhance that on that plan. So you have to go to the Elite plan if you want full streaming capabilities. And also just want to point that out to everybody. Once you first switch to the Elite plan, if you're a current AT&T customer, it automatically turns on the Stream Saver again. So you got to go into your settings and turn that off to be able to get the full streaming video quality. So I just wanted to point that out. So again, I just wanted to point another thing out that a lot of people have been asking me. And if you are on one of these higher Magenta or Magenta Plus plans on T-Mobile, if you look very closely at the comparison, you will see that T-Mobile falls right in line with pricing of Verizon and AT&T with a far lesser, smaller network. I've mentioned that to a few people that I talked to in chats. It's the Un-carrier now charges in line with the big two, but offering less. And what I mean by offering less is the network is a lot smaller. People have started to catch on. They have said, wait a minute, AT&T is not that much more than T-Mobile. And people have said the same about Verizon. So let's just go ahead and switch to them instead of waiting, until T-Mobile can successfully get this merger through and successfully can get the network a lot bigger. I noticed that on my trip. If you guys watched that video, it wasn't even close in my opinion. I mean, there were some detours we had to take along Interstate 8 onto some smaller highways where T-Mobile presented no service. So if a first responder was in that area, they would have had no service. AT&T and Verizon had fine service along those stretches. So that's just another thing I think that's kind of BS, is the Un-carrier now charging in line with the big two, but they offer less. And you can see it right here for 4 lines. On the Magenta, it's $160. And then for 4 lines, it's $180 on Verizon. And then it's, $160 on the Extra with AT&T for 4 lines. So it's the pricing is in line. It's now in line. It's not more. Could it be more under the new T-Mobile? Maybe, but effectively, I'm saying it today, T-Mobile's pricing is in line with Verizon and AT&T. I have to say it. It's just a fact at this point. You can see the numbers right here. The first line is 70. Most of them are 80. That's $10 more for a lot bigger of a network. And then the same with AT&T. You get the starter at 65. Which they closed the gap now with the Essential. With the Essential, it's 4 lines for 120, which is good. But on the starter, you get 4 lines for 140. That's $20 more for a lot more network. So AT&T and Verizon just really, in my opinion, closed the gap on the competition in terms of the pricing. So yeah, T-Mobile still maybe a little bit more aggressive on the promotional offerings in terms of getting the actual customer. But then again, a lot of people have been complaining about the higher down payments and this and that with T-Mobile. So, and then technically some of the rebates that the customers are getting on these phones is pretty much locking them into a 2-year contract, because those credits are handed out on a monthly basis. And if you leave prior to that time being up, then that phone becomes due in full. So, those are just some of the emails and complaints that I've been getting. And I agree with them. It's true. But, it's just the way T-Mobile has been able to lead the marketing race, because that's all it's been for T-Mobile. They've just been, a bunch of marketing geniuses, and they've been able to market the network and be more in the public than Verizon and AT&T. But now it just so happens to be that the pricing falls right in line with the big two for less. So also T-Mobile's 5G access is included, as you can see here. I just wanted to point that out before I end this video. But I just wanted to make this video today just to give you guys an idea on the on how the pricing looks now that we're going into 2020 into 5G. The pricing, it falls right in line with AT&T and Verizon. Now, one thing at the end of the video that I wanted to talk about, if you guys made it this far, is the QCI priority. A lot of people are on Reddit. A lot of people are saying there's no evidence of this. There's 100% evidence. There are people from AT&T corporate that are commenting this. It's just not stated in the actual plans. But the AT&T Business and Preferred and FirstNet have QCI 6, so they have priority over the consumer plans. FirstNet, in that case, still has priority in an event over an emergency over the AT&T Business and Preferred customers. So if there's an emergency event, FirstNet, they take priority no matter what. Then the QCI 7 are the elite. The elite is now on the QCI 7 queue. So that's a bump up. Also, if you plan on switching to the elite from the unlimited, more in premium, that's another positive. You are going to get placed in the higher priority. And then the QCI 8 is the extra, the more premium, over the 22 and the 50 gigabyte limit. So also even the extra for about, another, what is it? Let me do the math real quick for you guys. So for another, 1 second. So for another 28 gigabytes, the extra is going to have priority over the more premium. Now, I know some of you guys have not been experiencing this, but it's been kind of, a lot of people aren't understanding the QCI. All carriers run QCI. I just don't know how the QCIs are set for Verizon and T-Mobile. I know their start plan on Verizon is QCI 9 at all times, but the rest of them, I don't know how they're positioned. So the QCI is, so it's not about the speed with the QCI. It does play a factor, but what it is, it's the priority. So it means as you move through the network and encounter other users, you'll take priority over them, and therefore you will see, in theory, more consistent speeds. And that's in theory. So like I said, it may not happen on a tower that's low usage. We've done the testing. Other people have done the testing. It's about 25 to 30% increase on average in terms of the consistent speeds that you see over the lower QCI. That's just what the testing showed from several different people. I mean, you can take that and say, look, there's no proof, but these are AT&T corporate people saying this, and there is a separation between those plans, and the fact that you're now paying more on the elite is what caused AT&T to push those customers onto the QCI 7 priority. Are they monetizing the QCIs? They may be. They're not really saying that publicly, of course, but they're pretty much saying, hey, look, if you pay this amount more, you'll have priority over the network. So it could be now that they are going to start monetizing the QCIs. But again, like I said, if the network works fine for you on the plan that you're on, you don't have to switch. I'm not telling you that. I'm just saying it's a much better experience in times of congestion and heavy network traffic. So let me know what you think about all this in the comment section down below. I just wanted to put this on the screen and talk to you guys this morning, giving you guys a comparison, and also pointing out that T-Mobile's pricing is now in line with the big two. It's not far off. It's still cheaper, but it's not far off in terms of how much cheaper it really is against the larger networks. So definitely stay tuned to the channel for lots more content like this. Like, share, subscribe if you're new. Hit the notification bell so you're notified when I upload content like this. Also, follow all of the Tech Life social media sites for more updates. And this is Tyrone with Tech Life, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.